You know what? I'm loving so many people are here this morning.
Yeah.
Love that.
Because some conversations I have with people and they're like, oh, really? That really happened to you? And I'm like, what bubble are you living in?
It actually doesn't have a positive effect on the body.
They know that they don't know and still won't go out and find the information.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Ryan Knight is here.
Ew.
We didn't know a few moments ago.
Fly, eagles fly. Night bears in the house.
Okay.
I want to thank the Eagles for just blowing out the Chiefs. So my heart didn't have to have any palpitations, no close games, no craziness at the end, just straight sheer dominance.
You want to know an interesting fact?
What's that?
I didn't watch the game at all.
Hey, I don't blame you. If my team wasn't in it, I probably wouldn't watch it.
Oh Lord! No, you know what? I had shows to do, and I just had more important things to do. I said if it was interesting, I could watch highlights online or all that. I had a show to do at 5 o'clock yesterday till 6. Another one from 8 till 9. I just said I really didn't take a look. So it sounded like it wasn't close, unfortunately. And I thought Philadelphia was a better team, anyways.
Who said unfortunately? Who would say that? No, fortunately, it wasn't close. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, but that's a boring game. You don't want a boring game.
It's boring for people.
Well, you know what? You know what?
Like that, like, oh, the Super Bowl has to be entertaining. So speaking of entertainment, Kendrick Lamar was the halftime show. And I don't know if this is me being old fart or me being a parent now, but I didn't understand one thing he was saying, and the I guess the performance didn't really have a theme. I couldn't understand what the theme was, and then they played "Not Like Us," which to me is a diss track that shouldn't have got a Grammy and shouldn't be played at the Super Bowl because they let him say all the words about pedophile and A minor. And I'm just wondering. Yeah, like I know he probably was saying a lot of intelligent things because he's a great lyricist, but it doesn't fit the Super Bowl. Like the Super Bowl, I don't know if it was the right place. It didn't make any sense. So my 2 cents about the halftime show.
I didn't watch any of it. To be honest, I really don't care. It's interesting. Yeah. I think I've hit a crossroads where I didn't watch a full Super Bowl at all, the game, and I really don't care. I had more important things to do. I was serving our people. Instead of watching entertainment, I was having important, relevant conversation about our people yesterday. So this is a turning point, I believe, for me, where I said, I'm just watching less and less sports, and I just have more important things to do.
If the black dollar was not important, they wouldn't be doing these type of commercials to get your business back.
The same people who don't want gun checks, mental health checks, all for open carry, and when your kid gets shot in school, they offer thoughts and prayers. Make it make sense.
Y'all don't understand how our government works.
I think the lesson that we learned from that 4 years is how miserable people are. Their misery is contagious.
She's the star. Let me just bring her on. There we go. Hello. You got to unmute yourself. There we go. How are you?
I'm super. How are you guys?
Doing well. Good to see you.
We're doing fine. Good to see you as always. Are you Toronto or North?
I am North.
You're in your happy place.
I'm in my happy place.
Fantastic. So how long?
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy when I'm at the bakery. This is just a different kind of happiness.
Since this is Valentine's Day week, which is Friday, We are here to talk about taking care of heart health.
Yes.
And how to take care of how to have a healthy heart physically and mentally. So do you have some notes? Because I always have some questions.
I've got notes and a small slide because I do want to show some pictures, but we don't have to start with the slide. I'll just share a few things first.
Okay.
Jump in.
You ladies first always. So you whatever you want. This is your show. We just steer the ship. You drive it.
It's your show. I'm a guest.
No. It's our show. It's our show. So I say ladies first. So you tell me which way you want to roll.
Well, I want everyone to understand that the heart is an incredible organ, and it's actually a muscle. And I know we know this, but sometimes we don't really think about it like that. And it's so incredible that our heart actually pumps without us telling it to do so. I mean, we have to generally command our arms to move, our legs to go. Our lymph system doesn't have a pump. It moves when we do. But the heart is so incredibly made that it beats and pumps completely on its own. But in order for it to keep functioning in that way, we need to recognize at the core of everything, the heart is a muscle. If I take my arm and I bind it up or put it in a cast, you take it out of that cast if you're not working with it for a few weeks and it's very, very weak and it doesn't function well. Well, the heart, we don't see it all the time and we don't necessarily, look at it all the time as a muscle. But if you don't work and take care of this muscle, it becomes very weak. And one thing I think we don't realize is that if you look at the statistics on statin drugs, which is cholesterol drugs, and blood pressure drugs, we're talking more than 200 million people worldwide use these drugs. Like, what business do you want to invest in, right?
Yeah, right.
So the fact is that more than 50% of our population worldwide is having some sort of a heart issue.
Wow.
And it's still the second killer in America and Canada.
Wow.
And worldwide, cancer being number one.
Wow.
What can we do to check if our heart is weak? Because you hear about heart attacks all the time. So you're like, what could they have done earlier to say like, hey, start to prepare themselves to strengthen their heart? Or even how do you do push-ups for your heart? How do you strengthen this muscle?
Right. So that's the thing, is that's why it's so dangerous, because it's called the silent killer.
Right.
There's a reason why heart attacks are called the silent killer, or strokes are called the silent killer, because you don't get much signals before you have these heart issues. So that's why I'm trying to just bring everybody's mind back to the fact that prevention is still the best cure. Right. And if you think of your heart as a muscle, as soon as you do any kind of exercise, you force the blood to circulate through the body more. When you do that, you automatically exercise the heart. Okay. Yes, so the more you exercise, so that's number one. Doesn't matter, if you're going to go for a run, or you're going to go on your rebounder, or you're just going to do some push-ups. When your heart starts to beat a little faster through exercise, I'm going to talk about through anxiety, it's a different kind of a beat. But when you get your heart up and beating faster, you're exercising that muscle involuntarily. I have to get my weights to do my bicep curls to affect my biceps, but not with the heart. Anytime you exercise and your heart starts to rapidly beat, then you are exercising your heart muscle. And that in itself is one way to make it stronger.
I love that. And you mentioned anxiety heartbeats are different, because I was talking to Dr. Vibe about the Super Bowl, and I was glad it wasn't a close game, because my heart always starts to beat faster as the end of the game is coming. So now that isn't good beats of the heart.
No, and that's what I want to show these slides. I don't know if we're ready, but I can just show the slides about you know, the reality.
Go for it, Carolyn. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So while we're doing that, what she said, Carolyn sent up the slides, got a pile of comments. So Fitness IQ says detox at frequency.
I don't see the button of where I can.
You click on the button present.
I don't see the button where I can share my slides.
Are you using a phone or a laptop?
Laptop.
Okay, at the bottom of the screen,
Normally
do you
you
see?
put a thing there and I click it.
Yeah, should be a present at the bottom of your screen.
Okay. My
Thank you.
screen is, yeah, no problem.
All right, so while Carolyn is getting through that, so detox for frequency. Watcha frequency event promotion says
are watching.
Yeah, she goes at Fitness IQ Cam. Yes, we need to have a beach. Listen to this: a beach body by July 2025. For what reason? Okay, what's the reason though?
Ambitious. You should have had that plan a year ago.
And then and tomorrow, Mignon Cam says her birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Minnie. Serena Will says good morning from the very chilly DMV. Hey, Carolyn Nichol.
Yeah.
Also, the part of the fam club. Wayne Harris says good morning, Miss Carolyn. 202 today. I see down at 202 pounds.
Yes, he's going to get to that sub 200. I knew he would. Wow. One more detox, Wayne, and it's over.
Okay. Mindy on Cam says sleep apnea linked to heart disease, and many people do not know they have sleep apnea. Fitness IQ goes, does heartbreaks count? Minnie on Cam says Fitness IQ, some people have died from a broken heart. She also says, when I was trying to determine why my feet were swollen, I ended up doing a lot of tests around my heart. Serena Will says, I really wish that cardiology checkups and appointments were part of the norm and that you don't just see them when something goes wrong. That in neurology, which is a whole different conversation. Minnie on Cam says, also the testing for my multiple sclerosis, a lot of heart tests because I couldn't move my left arm. Oh my gosh.
Gotcha.
Okay. Fitness IQ Cam says, oh dear, anxiety is my middle name. All right. So, and Serena Will says, congratulations, Wayne.
Yeah,
all right.
Awesome.
So let's get these. There we go. You are on.
Great.
All right. Let's do
so
that.
Basically, I just wanted to show that, I mean, here's the heart. It's a muscle. We need to remember that. Of course, veins, arteries, blood flowing through it. But what we don't realize, which I'll talk about in a second, is that in order for any muscle to contract, whenever we think of muscles, what do we usually think of as far as nutrients? You know, if I want to build my muscles, I need a lot of
red meat,
protein, right? Yeah. But we don't realize that in order for a contraction to happen, whether it's your biceps, your thighs, your abs, or your heart, it requires calcium. Calcium is one of the main minerals that creates a contraction for your heart, for any of your muscles. So it's very important that in order to get this heart to beat, yes, it needs tons of blood flow. So you've got to have strong blood. You definitely need protein, but you need a good amount of calcium. So I'll talk about that in a second, but I do want to show that it's quite important for us to realize what this vagus nerve does. So I've kind of mentioned it a few times. Wow, so many apps I have open. So I don't know if you guys remember me ever talking about the vagus nerve, but this is the pathway of cortisol. So when we are nervous, when we are anxious, when we are bothered, as Minnie on Cam said, sleep apps. So if you're not getting enough sleep, if you don't get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, so even if you're not stressed out and anxious, if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to release cortisol. You're going to have that adrenaline flow. This vagus nerve is the pathway for your stress hormones. So what I want you guys to see, I know the screen is like a little far away, but from the brain, it goes through the heart, the lungs, and the vagus nerve branches end in the stomach. So when you feel that heart palpitation because you're anxious or you're nervous, this is not blood flow going in there to nourish the heart and help the heart to contract and beat faster. This is cortisol hitting the heart, which causes the heart to beat faster, but cortisol damages in its pathway. So it's extremely damaging and weakens the heart muscles because cortisol literally eats away at your tissues. And the pathway for cortisol, because it's so damaging, the body produces extra cholesterol. So now I get more cholesterol on my veins, more cholesterol on my arteries, just because of a cortisol release. I didn't even eat anything with cholesterol. My body, your liver is an incredible organ, and it produces extra cholesterol every time we're stressed out because your body knows how damaging cortisol is. So it puts some fatty tissue in the pathway so that it's not fully damaging. But a lot of people that end up with digestion issues, whether it's acid reflux or diverticulitis or Crohn's or, any kind of pain in their stomach, almost 100% of the time, they're under a lot of emotional stress because the vagus nerve ends in the stomach. But I just want to show you that it's very real, the damage of cortisol on the heart, because when that cortisol hits the heart, you weaken the heart so badly. And so that kind of heart palpitation is actually dangerous and it's counterproductive for creating a strong, healthy heart.
And I'm so curious, why does the body then use cortisol for stress? Like when you're stressed out, what is the cortisol supposed to actually help with?
That's such a great question. So it doesn't sound like why would God even create this cortisol pathway because it's so damaging?
Yeah.
But this is what happens. Okay, so I'm here in the woods. Let's say that a bear jumps through the glass and comes into my living room. Okay, my decision is either to fight the bear or run away. So what does the body do? It artificially stimulates your heart to bump so that there's more blood circulation happening, and it pulls blood away from my organs like my liver, my pancreas, and it puts it into my thighs, my biceps. So it prepares me to either run really fast or fight. It actually stores up glucose so that if I need to run like 30 minutes or an hour, it will store it up so that it will release it slowly. So it starts to create this fight or flight syndrome, allowing me to either attack the bear or run away from the bear. It's just preparing my muscles, my heart. It hits the lungs, so I take deeper breaths, right? So that I can fill with more oxygen and I can run a long distance. So, and then because this vagus nerve ends up in my stomach, if I was hungry, I don't have to think about it because the cortisol hit my stomach and it's like taken all my hunger away. Mm-hmm. So it helps me very quickly to make a decision right away if I'm going to fight or if I'm going to run.
Fight or flight.
I'm not going to fight that bear. I'm going to bear, you don't live here. Go back to the forest.
But then that sounds like, okay, a bear crashing in is a mega event. But then the stress of me having to take a test in school or like an exam, that stress, would they be like equal cortisol that gets dispersed? Or if the event is more dramatic, more goes, but I'm curious like how much cortisol is happening if it's not crazy stress.
Exactly. So that becomes the problem because, bear jumps in the room, I scream, ready to fight. My husband takes off the mask and says, "It's just me, honey." We laugh about it. and I come down. My body can actually get rid of that cortisol dump rather quickly. It might take a couple hours, but it can recover from that. But the problem is when we think the bear is jumping in the room 100 times a day. That's the problem. It's a slow, constant drip of cortisol constantly, because we're thinking, okay, that test is in 2 days, or you know what, I'm driving to work. My boss is so mean. She's racist towards me. I know she's going to say something again today. We think about it. We walk into the office. Oh, she's off today. Okay, that's better. But she's coming in tomorrow. You know, like we are constantly doing this slow drip of cortisol. And unfortunately, the body can't handle that. The body can handle the bear jumps into the room, it's over, and I laugh for the next 2 weeks and nothing bothers me. But constantly through the day, lack of sleep, I'm bothered, I'm frustrated, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. That's a slow dip of cortisol that actually creates long-term damage that the body can't recover from.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
And then once the body can't recover, it's very difficult because it causes deep set damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to catch up on some comments here. Serena Wills goes, "Oh, my cortisol in the heart." And she also says, Mignon, okay, so we got that. Yeah, we got, "Oh, my cortisol in the heart." Mignon Camp says, "Yes, doctor told me on omega fish oil had me on omega fish oil for a while to lower the cortisol. We knew I had pressure, but it wasn't enough for blood pressure medication." Also, Serena Wills says, "I see my cardiologist every year or so because of Lyme disease. I have heart palpitations. Thank goodness all is well. The palpitations are disturbing and unnerving." Mm-hmm. And Mignon Camp says, Serena Wills, "Yes, I know, on every 2-year EKG testing." Carolyn, I haven't left something that you said a number of moments ago about the heart. It seems that the heart is disconnected from the brain. The heart is its own thing. It acts all on its own.
No, your brain has to tell it what to do.
Okay, because I was a little confused.
If I unplug the brain, my heart's not pumping.
Right, but just the fact that people can it's unannounced. Like on my dad's side of the family, my uncle who's passed away and about 20 years ago had a 8 bypass and survived.
Wow.
And he survived for about 15 years on that. And then my dad is a survivor of a quadruple bypass.
Gotcha.
So these things just hit, and you out like this cortisol. How do we fight it? Like, is it the stuff you said earlier on? There are other things that the average everyday person can do to monitor it, make sure it's at a good level, other than what you've shared?
Well, so here's the thing: is that when it comes to the heart and heart health, like as you were sharing, the triple bypasses and all of that, understand that those are generally cholesterol buildups, right? And so it's yes, stress is a huge factor, but so is our diet, so is our lifestyle. Like, why are we, like, your body and my body produces all the cholesterol we need. Every animal produces its own cholesterol. I don't need to go anywhere to get more cholesterol. We produce our own. But we're not living these active lifestyles. So we're eating animals, which also has cholesterol. Now I'm getting my cholesterol plus the chickens or the cows, right? I'm eating too much carbohydrates that will turn to cholesterol if I'm not burning through them. So most of us are literally eating ourselves to death with blocked arteries. And you know what? I'm going to tell you that statin drugs, one of the most dangerous drugs on the market, are the most sold drugs across the world. There's more than 200 million people using statin drugs today. And they're so dangerous because they inhibit your liver from producing the good cholesterol. My body produces LDL and HDL cholesterol. That's what it does. And so when your doctor sees that you've got too much cholesterol in your body, instead of saying, what are you eating? They generally put you on a statin drug, stopping your liver from producing LDL cholesterol. Why? Because you have external cholesterol going into your body. That external cholesterol doesn't do the job of functioning your hormones and helping your brain with its nervous system. This is external cholesterol that's full of toxins, full of saturated fats, and is very, very dangerous and irritating for your arteries. But we've got too much of it. So let's turn your healthy cholesterol off with this drug, and let's just use all the cholesterol you keep putting in your system. That is just so backward. Let's turn the cholesterol you're putting in your system off and let your liver do its job, because that kind of cholesterol helps your hormones function, helps your brain, your nervous system function. Your myelin sheath, which wraps all your fatty tissue, that's made with cholesterol, but the cholesterol your liver makes, not from French fries and meat and all of these things. So it's so backwards, and we are just feeding our pharmaceutical. I mean, 200 million people are on statin drugs today. Like, do you not want to invest in that company and make sure doctors don't ask the health questions so that you can keep medicating? It's really bad.
That's the unfortunate status quo.
Preventable. That's the problem that just gets me, is that it's preventable.
Yeah, but not profitable. So that's where.
Not profitable, right? Because water is one of the substances on the earth that anybody can almost get for pennies. I mean, even generally the poorest of poor, I know there's countries where they're having trouble with clean water, but generally in our first world countries, you can get water anywhere, and most people are just dehydrated. That is why they're on blood pressure medication. So they get a water pill. Does that make any sense? Like, drink water. Yeah. That is just, we are so simple. I don't know. I don't know if we're just in this age of knowledge. Maybe we just don't want to be disciplined enough, but 90% of people on blood pressure medication are just dehydrated. Yeah, that's ultimately the issue. They are just dehydrated.
So I want to make sure people realize in the background we have bread, but it's gluten-free bread. So it's people saying it's gluten-free bread. So just want to make sure that then. So then what are some of the best foods for maintaining a healthy heart?
Very good question, Dr. Vibe. So a couple things are important. Remember calcium. If you want, I didn't show it on the slide, and we don't need to bring the slide back up, but I had a bunch of medications listed, especially for heart disease, and many of them are calcium blockers.
No, put the slide up. Come on, you gotta put that needs to be seen. It's one thing for you to talk it, it's another thing to see it, because I want people who are either watching live on the replay to see it, because if they talk, they won't, but if they see it visually, I believe that have more of an impact. So I'm asking you, I don't ask too much out of you, but I believe that's really important.
All good.
Okay, yep. And you get to that slide and I'll put it up. All right, it's very important. It's really.
Okay.
Is that the slide?
We're good. Yeah. So again, you might not be able to see all of this perfectly, but there's certain medications. So candestartin, you have benzopril, you have amlodipine. So many of these are calcium channel blockers, okay? Or they're ACE inhibitors. So it's stopping your natural minerals from going to your heart. Why? Because if your doctor notices that your heart is contracting really hard, why is it doing that? Because it has to try to push the blood around your entire body. Or if your vessels are contracting really hard, whether it's the systolic or the diastolic, it depends, and I'm not going to get into that. But if your doctor suspects that either your vessels are contracting too hard or your heart is contracting too hard, they're going to give you a medication that inhibits calcium from going in there, so your heart doesn't work so hard. Because if your heart is constantly beating really, strongly, that could lead to a heart attack. But here's the thing that just blows my mind is that, I mean, I've been taught in school, it was banged in our head over and over again. Ascertain the cause. Find out the reason for this issue before you treat the issue. Right. I'm not sure why doctors don't have that banged in their head. But why is the heart working so hard? Is it because the blood is very thick and viscous? Is that why? Do we have very high viscosity of blood going through? Or is it that you're overweight and there's like, you know, a large circumference to actually go through all the veins and arteries? Why are your vessels working so hard to push the rest of the blood? So that's the question. And most of the time, it's because your blood is so thick because we're not drinking water. That can be the solution. You know, I want you to up your water liters to 2 liters every day, and then see if your blood pressure is any better as Dr. Vibe takes a drink. Or what is dehydrating you?
What's on the bottle? What's on the bottle?
Energy Shack.
Yeah, all right. Just wanted to make sure. Go on.
Yeah.
So the other question is, you know, what's dehydrating you? Are you having cooked food all day with no salads, no fruits? So your body needs lots of the water you give it just to digest the food. Are you consuming caffeine, whether that's Monster drinks, Red Bull, coffee, black tea, green tea? 1 cup of caffeine is going to rob you of 2 cups of water. So there's certain things that we're doing that are dehydrating us. Like, why is that heart working so hard? Maybe we just need to lose weight, and doctors will say that, but they're not telling you how.
Right.
So as far as what nutrients the body needs, you need calcium, but if you get calcium from cow's milk or cheese or yogurt, those things, you actually create inflammation in the heart. You need calcium from your beans, from your spinach, from your bok choy, from your almonds. That's the kind of calcium that gives you beautiful contractions because it's absorbed in the body.
There we go.
Where dairy products, the calcium's not absorbed. What kind of protein does this heart muscle need in order to be strengthened? Well, if I give it protein from chicken and beef and fish, I'm also getting cholesterol. So let's get protein from our chickpeas and our lentils, like these kinds of things. And then you need good blood flowing through it. So you need tons of green leafy vegetables. You need cabbage. You need, your dark berries and beans that have high antioxidants. I mean, this is what your heart loves, but without the water, it's a fail.
You know, one of the things I love is when Carolyn's in a zone. And she is, I'm feeling she's in a zone this morning. It must be being back up north. She is in a zone this morning.
Yeah,
this is good. So Mignon Camp says,
you can take that slide down.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will take it down. Put this back up here and do this. So let's catch some quick comments. So Mignon Cam, wow, Mignon Cam and Serena Wills are on fire this morning. Mignon Cam says trauma holds in the body. So yes, you could take care of your health, but if you don't deal with the trauma, it will develop in the body. We'll get to some of that. Mignon Cam says, yes, I have damage. Myelin sheath, multiple sclerosis. Serena Will says, my cardiologist and gynecologist were concerned at one point about my cholesterol because of spiked a bit, especially after getting a full hysterectomy, which is another conversation as well. Mm-hmm. Mignon says, is that from the hormone reduction? Hey, Michelle Baptiste, good to have you here. She's saying great information. Thank you. Serena Will says, instead of putting me on medications, we talked about my workout routine and stress. Then I started meeting with you, Carolyn Nichol, and my cholesterol has dropped. Happy hands. And Serena said, Mignon says, Serena Wills, exercise rebuilds the cells. Serena cells, yes, because I had a full hysterectomy that also included my ovaries. Wow. Mm-hmm. With that surgery, my GYN Doc, and Cardel's talking about working out more, being more cognizant of stress and diet. Who's in the house? Dr. Tachi is in the house saying hello, all. Dr. Tachi, good to have you here. Serena Wills has the question: does more water help with low blood pressure? I've been taking away more electrolytes, which seems to help. There you go.
So yeah, more water helps, but here's the thing is that we can't just be gulping water all day. It's also about timing, and believe it or not, how you drink water. If you are constantly just downing water, it's going to go right from your mouth to the toilet. Like that's just, you're just loading your bladder. We should be sipping on water, swish it around in your mouth, get the saliva, and then swallow, and don't eat and drink at the same time. Always wait at least an hour, let the food begin to digest, then start sipping on your water. Okay. You should be getting enough electrolytes from your food, but if you are low on electrolytes, you could call me. I don't recommend everybody put salt in their water, but some people might have to, but I wouldn't jump on that right away. So yeah, there's definitely, and if you're super dehydrated, try at night instead of dinner, have your dinner at lunchtime, and try doing some coconut water at night or in the morning. But really, your heart muscles, they're like 40% water. We need water.
Yes.
Yeah, your blood platelets are 90% water. Like if there's a reason why your blood can't go around your body very quickly, probably you're dehydrated, or we have a buildup of cholesterol in the arteries, and now we've made our arteries very thick and stiff and narrow. And so we got to get that cholesterol gone away. And the statin drug is not the answer. If you were born with high cholesterol, then it's reversible. If you weren't born with high blood pressure, it's reversible. It doesn't matter if your granny, your daddy, and everybody in your family has it. It's still reversible.
All right, Ryan, I know you got to leave. Any quick last thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, quick question about water and temperature of what temperature should the water be at, especially if we're sipping it all day. Where should we be keeping it? How?
Is that great question? So your body is about 37 degrees. If you put if you're in a warm 37 degrees and you throw cold water on yourself, you're not going to function very well. So we need to be having water that is as warm water or at least room temperature, so we don't shock our system. Because if you put something cold in your stomach, your blood has to work to warm the stomach to bring it back to that 37 degrees so everything can function. It doesn't function well cold. That means your blood is leaving your extremities, it's leaving your heart, it's leaving your liver just to come to the stomach to warm it. That's not good. So drink your water room temperature or warm.
Love that. And my apologies, I do have to prepare for this next meeting, but always good seeing you, Carolyn.
Yeah, you too. Right. Thanks for being here.
Take care. No problem. All right. Got lots of questions for you now, Carolyn. Now I'm in. I'm in now. All right. Here we go. So what are the worst foods for heart health that people should avoid?
The worst foods for heart health. Wow, what a good question. So you have to avoid takeout food. Really, we need to understand chicken is not chicken. When I promote a plant-based diet, but if you're going to eat chicken, you're even going to eat beef, you're going to have pork, whatever you're going to have. I don't recommend you do that. But if you are, when you cook it yourself, you're probably not dousing it with oil. You're probably, making your own seasonings. But restaurants, they don't really care how much oil, fat, sugar they're using in a sauce and preparation. They just care that it tastes really good. Fat, sugar, salt, these things make food taste good. So any kind of takeout food, even if you're going to your West Indian place, those people that cook there. You're going to your favorite, authentic restaurant or high-end steakhouse. They don't care about your health. They care that you're coming back and you like their food. And fat, sugar, and salt makes you like the food. It hits dopamine. There's So much studies out there. So takeout food is a killer. Deep fried food is a killer. Processed food, you take it out of a package, it's a killer. Try to cook your food at home, even if it's not going to follow my perfectly wonderful plant-based guidelines.
So a nice segue saying, so my next conversation piece is, how does a plant-based diet impact heart health compared to other diets?
Yeah, so there's no cholesterol in a plant-based diet. Zero. No cholesterol. So the only time there would be cholesterol is if your nuts, per se, are roasted in different oils. So a plant-based diet is not going to give you any cholesterol. However, if you eat too many carbohydrates, your body will convert that to cholesterol. So if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, that means very little processed. You are, not manipulating the foods. You're having your leafy green vegetables, your fruits, your beans, your nuts in small quantity, your seeds in small quantity. You cannot go wrong unless it's very carbohydrate heavy and you're not exercising. But yeah, your heart needs tons of antioxidants and water, and your vegetables, your fruits, they're full of water.
Nice. Then how can juicing and smoothies contribute to cardiovascular health?
So smoothies, not so much. I'm not a big promoter, believe it or not, which is one of the reasons why I changed the Energy Shack. But I'm not a big promoter of smoothies. Smoothies are cold. They upset our stomach. They're not digested right. But juices, if you saw me, I was drinking like a red Reboot juice this morning. So this is full of beets. It's got celery. It's got a bit of onion in there. I mean, that's just blood food. So you will strengthen your blood, even if you're not going on a detox, by having a vegetable, not fruit, but a vegetable juice in the morning. You don't have to do it every morning, but even just 4 ounces, 2 ounces, getting some beets, some celery, some juiced spinach, some carrots. This strengthens the molecules in your blood, the platelets, the white blood cells. It gives them power, which means your heart is happier.
Good stuff. Let's look at some comments here. So Serena Will says, her zones are fire.
I get so crazy and passionate about this.
No, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Serena Will says, hey, Soror Tachi. And then we have Dr. Chai says, hey, Soror Serena Wills. And Serena says, sorry, I meant to say I've been drinking more natural electrolytes. Mignon Can says, I've been drinking bone broth every other week. I've noticed my skin looks clear and less bloating. I haven't figured out the science in the better results. Serena Will says, I've been advised to use Celtic salt in my water. I'm borderline hypertension. Then Minnie says, I got really good at one-pot meals and have noticed some weight loss for the non-cooker. Go with one-pot meals. She also says, bone broth has been homemade. I made the switch a few months ago. All right. We got it. More questions for you. So let's say what type of exercises are most beneficial for heart health?
So it's really a mix. We can't just lift weights. When you do lift weights, you definitely engage your muscles, including your heart, but there has to be a cardio component. We have to get, I'll talk to people, yeah, I go to the gym, yeah, I lift weights. And it doesn't have to be long, but to get on a treadmill or a bike or go for a brisk walk, not this leisurely walk, but get your heart rate up. I love to do 1 minute high intensity and then slow it down for 30 seconds. Then I go back up because now I'm really working that heart muscle. So the interval training is great. Rebounders are amazing if you can get a rebounder. But even if you don't have equipment, go for a brisk walk. Walk as fast as you can, get that heart rate up, slow it down. Then shock your system. Go fast as you can and slow it down. Running is a little hard on the knees, so you may not want to jump into running. But the cardio mixed with some sort of muscle engagement is really important. You don't have to be an hour at the gym. You can accomplish that in like a good 20 minutes.
That's what I was going to get to. Michelle Baptiste says plyometrics. All right. Let's move on to some more things. And you said, okay, how does stress impact physical heart health, and what can be done to counteract it?
So if you are going to go, if you are going to do some sort of, whoops, my screen. If you are going to, I mean, here's the reality is that, you know, we didn't show all the slides, but just living in the city, looking at concrete buildings and traffic all day, it puts us in stress. So whether you're an easily anxious person or you're not, just living city life is stressful. But I think, like, you know, for some people on a deeper scale, they really do need to unpack past trauma because we think about it without even thinking about it. It affects us without even realizing it's affecting us. But when it comes to, you know, your day-to-day life, is it that boss that's bothering you? Is it that relationship that you're in that's giving you trouble? Is it your child that's just making you crazy? I mean, just really being real with what is bothering me right now. And if I can't resolve it, is it worth me losing my health over? I mean, maybe, you know, that's the only job you can take and you have to deal with the boss. But maybe just try to kill them with kindness. Like, you know, buy your boss flowers, get them their favorite chocolates, like do something to try to have an effect so that it can change your situation. If you can't leave your situation, then do something extremely positive to try to help that situation, because it is not worth the anxiety. It's not worth it.
Okay. Serena Will says, I need to exercise more. I do good for a while and then fall off, even just 15, 20 minutes a day, and work my way up. It's harder for me to work out in the winter than other seasons for some reason. Mignon Cam's being a cheater, saying, Serena Will, spring will be here in 2 months, so hang in there, doing what you can in the winter. And Serena Will says, hypertension, not hypertension. Hypo, not hypertension. Yes. Mignon Cam says, low blood pressure is a condition in which the force of blood pushing against the artery walls is too low. It's also called hypertension?
Hypo, yeah. So we're mixing the two. One is high, one is low.
And then yes, and Serena Will says, yes, Dr. Vibe, hypertension. I'm borderline hypertension. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
She's working on it.
I know she is. So let me ask then, how does mental health directly impact heart health?
Well, so as you have those anxiety feelings, you're releasing the cortisol. But one thing we aren't really recognizing is that, like, that stress is the number one killer for heart disease. I mean, that's the main cause of heart disease, mental health issues or stress, or very simply lack of sleep. And that's something that some of us can't control because, you know, we can't shut down or we wake up a lot. But some of us are just literally going to bed late and just like intentionally giving ourselves 4 or 6 hours of sleep. That's not okay either. So what we can control, we should control. And if you really are struggling with mental health issues, you know, get some help, because it's not worth it in the long run for what it's doing to your heart, your lungs, your nervous system, Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, these are just diseases known for people that undergo a lot of stress.
It's challenging out there. Then, so what are some daily habits or rituals that help reduce stress and improve heart health?
What I'd like people to do is, as soon as you wake up, have like a liter or a half a liter of water. Just flush the system, hydrate the system. You've been dehydrated all night. So that puts that, like, real, your heart loves that. If you can put some lemon in the water, but as soon as you wake up, do that. And before you get into a big breakfast, stop skipping breakfast. Before you get into a good breakfast, do some exercise, whether it's some jumping jacks but getting that heart rate up first thing in the morning, that sets the precedence for the entire day. Just get down and do some push-ups. Just do something. If you've got 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. If you've got 30, do it. But if you could, I mean, the ideal is go do some exercise, go for a walk, and then start your day. If you can't do that, go for a walk at lunchtime. Just wherever you can squeeze in a few minutes, do it. And when you go outside, even in the winter, and that sunshine hits your eyes, it actually stimulates the serotonin production. And that's like counter-effective. Like it totally counteracts the effects of damaging cortisol. So you want that happy hormone to go on in your body. When you exercise, you release endorphins. You're coming against anxiety and depression. So really start your day with water, exercise, sunshine, walk if you can, eat heart healthy food, have a big salad, have your beans. Beans are so good for your heart.
It's so hard for me. The beans thing is it's a challenge thing. The beans thing is a challenging thing for me.
Is that because they don't digest well?
I'm gonna be fully honest. I haven't eaten like raw, like just beans and such. I couldn't tell you. So I know what you're gonna say. Well, try and tell me what the result is.
Let's do it.
So I will do it today with my salad.
Chickpeas, kidney beans, black beans, lentils. There's so many options. Yeah,
I will try today and tell you.
Yes, the last thing as far as diet goes is try to eat earlier. Get your calories in before 4 o'clock so your heart is not working all night, helping to get blood through your circulation to digest this meal while you're sleeping. So give your heart a break, get your meals in before 4 o'clock, and get that exercise in. Use your evening instead of having dinner to go for a walk. Get fresh air, oxygen. You need oxygen. Yeah, there's so much.
Minnie on Camp says, you might go to sleep fast, but it does not mean you sleep good. You need a sleep to confirm it.
Exactly.
She says there are sleep psychologists. She also says, is this her dehydrated all night and sweating? Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Michelle says, I train on an empty stomach early morning and I drink water at that time.
Excellent.
Serena says,
but still drink water before you go out to train, Michelle.
All right.
Okay.
Serena says, I'm borderline hypotension, not hypertension. It's tricky.
We're really trying to sort this out.
Yes. Dr. Chachi says, do fruits and vegetables count toward your water intake? I've heard mixed things about this.
Yeah, so that's a good question. It really counts towards your electrolytes, but I would say that if you have a big salad and a good bowl of fruit every day, if your water intake should be 2 liters, you could probably get away with about 1.75 liters. So it does count for some of it, but it's water that's mixed with minerals, so it's actually amazing electrolytes. So yes, you can do a little bit less water, but the best thing to do is to look at your urine. If your urine is fully clear, you're drinking too much water. If there should be a tinge of yellow in it, and you shouldn't be, running to the bathroom every minute because you can't control it. Now that could be a lack of water absorption. And we could talk about, do we need the Celtic salt in our water or not? That's another conversation I don't want to unpack here today, but you should have almost clear urine 2 hours after eating, almost clear, but it should never be always like, no one's peed in the toilet. That is a problem. That means you're flushing too much. So Dr. Tachi, if you need to unpack this, you can reach me personally.
Yes. Okay. How big is this?
That is 1 liter.
Okay. So I have at minimum 2 or 3 days a day.
So for your weight and height, you need about 3 of those or 2.5 of those plus a big salad.
I do that. I do that anyway.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to check in. So Michelle Baptiste says, we will connect in April. Thank you. All right. So I will hold that. And I know Michelle very well. So I will keep her accountable on that. She says also, beans are good for the heart. The more you eat, the more you blank. So Serena Will says, if you wake up in the middle of the night, should we drink some water then?
So you want to try not to wake up in the middle of the night. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you are genuinely thirsty, then it's okay to take a sip of water, but the idea is not to wake up in the night. However, if you constantly have a bottle by your bedside, your brain is a powerful tool. It's going to wake you up to drink. Keep water, phone, everything out of your room. Your room should just be a sleeping place, not a working place. Leave the window slightly open if you can while you're sleeping to get some fresh air. But if you do wake up in the night and you're genuinely thirsty, for sure, have a little swig of water, but you don't want to get into that habit.
Okay. How do strong social connections improve heart health?
You know, I was just talking, what an awesome question. I was just talking with somebody over this weekend about the Blue Zone. So I don't know if you guys know the documentary or the book, The Blue Zone. Why am I forgetting the author? But anyway, you can Google it. It's very popular. It talks about the 7 different places all around the world where people live to a healthy 100 centurions. So the big thing about them is that mostly they're plant-based, but one of the key factors for all of these people that have healthy longevity is that they have very good social connections. They're in a tribe or they're in a community, they meet together. So whether you want to believe it or not, but being alone, for some people, they're introverted, and COVID kind of made us comfortable being disconnected, but we're uncomfortable. And so when you are alone or you're constantly sharing your emotions through emojis, through screens, through not human contact, believe it or not, you do that cortisol drip all over again. So healthy social connections make you laugh. A merry heart is good like medicine. I mean, that's a Bible verse, but it's real. When you laugh, you heal so much. You heal so much. That's healthy heart. That's healthy muscle contraction. That's healthy serotonin, healthy endorphins. That actually heals pain. So the more we can have healthy social connections, lots of laughter, fun, satisfying things, that you go to a nursing home and you visit somebody. I went to go visit an elderly friend Saturday morning, and the satisfaction I had in my soul that just visiting and spending time with her, it was so satisfying. I just felt endorphins fill my whole body. Like, so this is very important. And our elderly get neglected. And even us, we want to work from home. We want to do church from home. We want to do Zoom calls with our family and our grandkids because we don't want to travel. But, you know, let's create more social interactions, which is why I invite everybody to March 2nd, fun for the whole family. Let's socialize again.
I think you already mentioned this, but I don't know if you want to add on to it. How does showing gratitude and practicing kindness benefit heart health?
Yeah, so that just sort of kind of just, you know, adds to what I was saying, is that when you, and you know, there's something that you mentioned in there that I don't think you realized it, but when you have a thought that's anxious, so for instance, oh, you know, my brother, he's suffering from cancer. He's all the way in Europe. I can't reach him. I can't get him by phone. I wonder if he's okay. You know, when you entertain those thoughts, you release cortisol. As soon as you have that thought, okay, I can't reach him, instead of dwelling on why can't I reach him, start saying things of gratitude. I mean, for me, I just turn that into prayers. I say, Lord, I can't reach my brother in Europe. I just ask for your holy angels to be with him. I ask that, you know, your healing hand is upon him, that you put good people in his life, open up his time so he would call me. I just pray a blessing on his life. As I do this, I'm feeling good that I can't be with him, but I'm doing something good for him. I'm praying for him. I'm counting my blessings, or when you're on your bed at night and you're just like, oh yeah, man, that bill's coming up, I can't pay it, or I forgot to. Stop those thoughts. Stop those thoughts and just start saying, God, I'm so grateful. Or if you don't talk to God, talk to yourself. But I'm so grateful that I have a bed I can sleep in. I have a family who loves me. I do have food in the fridge. Like, count your blessings, show the gratitude. You will create a chemical change from cortisol to endorphins. You will actually create that change. So as soon as you start entertaining negative thoughts, try to capture them right away and count your blessings instead. Try to do stuff for other people where they're not able to do it. Pick up groceries for your neighbor, or go visit somebody who's lonely. Get out of yourself and your misery and start doing good things for other people and count your blessings. Yeah, it makes a chemical shift.
So good. So good. Mignon Cam says MS symptoms come with bladder issues. So all of these, quote, normal, unquote, advice does not fit with chronic conditions that affect the bladder or the bowels. Shell says they say keep my bedroom cool, but I don't control the heat in my apartment. The building keeps it hot. Not
Just
good.
open the window a little bit, Minnie.
Okay. Serena says, I can't help it. Every night I wake up because I have to use the bathroom and my partner is a heavy snorer. Aye.
You're going to need the earplugs or noise cancellation headphones.
Mignon Cam says, my family is toxic for my well-being. The less I see them, the better. Okay. Serena Will says, I miss uninterrupted sleep. I bet you do. I became a lighter sleep after having my son and then getting slammed with Lyme disease. Now the bathroom and this guy who won't get his snoring checked. Okay, TMI. Okay. Mignon Cam says, my stress went up after seeing family. Doesn't make it sense to see them. Okay. Serena says, Serena Wills, because it's a chronic health condition, the normal advice does not fit. Okay. We're going to start winding it down. Got some quick questions for you, and we're going to let you go. So if someone wants to improve their heart health today, what are the first three things they should do?
Okay. 1, drink lots of water. Your weight divided by 2. I don't know, Dr. Vibe, if you can put that in the chat. Your weight divided by 2, and then divide that number by 8. So your weight divided by 2 divided by 8.
Right.
Drink your weight
divided
equivalent, not your equivalent weight, but drink your weight. Drink water for your right weight. That was a tongue twister. But that's one thing you can do. Number 2, incorporate exercise. If your knees are shot, your hips shot, whatever, do some exercise that you're able to do, but get your heart rate up. Okay. And the last, your weight divided by 2 divided by 8. Perfect. And the last thing that you can do.
Pounds or kilograms?
Pounds.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Pounds. The last thing you could do, honestly, is stop eating dinner. Eat your dinner at lunchtime. Eat before 4 o'clock. When you eat a big meal at night, you put so much stress on your heart, your digestive system, your liver, but your heart is very stressed out. Stop eating dinner. Eat a big meal at lunchtime. Hopefully you have a salad first. Hopefully it's mostly plant-based, but that is one of the best things you could do is water, exercise, and stop eating dinner.
We'll have to talk about my result offline. I just thought, whoa, okay. Are there any heart healthy recipes or specific juices you recommend? Well, I know what you're going to answer to that, but go ahead.
Well, you can make your own. You don't have to get it from the Energy Shack, but if you would like to make a heart healthy juice, use just, if it's of a beet, just a quarter of a beet. You can do about 4 stalks of celery, throw a couple radishes in there and a couple carrots, and that is like heart healthy juice. Very, very, very healthy for your heart. The beets, the celery, the radish, a bit of carrots. Of course, you can throw some kale and spinach in there, which would be wonderful. That would be awesome. And then try to do a big salad with, throw some arugula in there, put some radishes, cilantro, parsley.
Okay, hold on. I just need to interrupt. I don't hear you mentioning lettuce. I hear you mentioning other things, but not lettuce.
No, lettuce is the base. So lettuce is
all
the
right,
base,
all right, okay.
Lettuce is just the fiber. The arugula is bitter. The cilantro is a herb, and so is parsley. Radishes are bitter, but your blood loves bitter herbs. So if you can make a big salad with no vinegar or store-bought dressing, and use lemon juice, a bit of olive oil, which is also good for your heart.
Oh, you know my go-to.
Yes.
That's my lemon vinaigrette is one of the that is my base.
It just makes the salad go down. It's so
good.
And throw some hemp hearts on there so you get your omegas plus your protein. I mean, that is a salad that is just heart healthy. Have that every day, then have your cooked food after it. Do it at lunchtime, drink your water, get your exercise.
Okay.
And fast every so often. Give all your organs a break and just fast.
How can people transition to a heart healthy lifestyle without feeling overwhelmed?
Talk to me.
There you go.
That's how we're going to wrap it up. Talk to me.
Okay, but one other thing, then, what is one powerful mind shift that can help people take control of their heart health?
Start talking, listen to what you're saying, and really notice how much we complain, and just be intentional about speaking positive, counting your blessings, and talking to other people in very loving, kind, compassionate ways. It makes such a big difference. Listen to your voice, listen to your tone. Ask a trusted person to let you know if you're complaining. We are big complainers. When we complain, we release that cortisol. Count your blessings, speak positive. You know, a situation comes and being like, that sucks. Don't say that. Be like, I wonder what blessing is going to come out of this situation now. You know, just change the way you talk, the conversation. Like, things aren't working. That package didn't show up. I guess it wasn't meant to be there today. It will probably come tomorrow or not. Like, just changing your conversation makes such a huge deal for whether or not you're going to release damaging cortisol and cholesterol, or whether you're going to have heart healthy endorphins flowing through your entire body.
Okay. I missed a question here from the family. Rashawn Boy says, thoughts on banana tea for sleep?
Yeah, a lot of people, I haven't tried it personally, but I have heard from mostly my Caribbean friends that if you boil the leaves of banana, that helps with the melatonin. Haven't tried it. It does kind of make sense. Make sure the banana is organic. Otherwise, it's gassed, and there's lots of gas on your banana leaves. So make sure it's an organic banana before you do that, but it might work. Good question.
Let's see. Serena Will says earplugs don't work. I don't know how to sleep on my side with noise canceling headphones. I don't sleep on my back, very uncomfortable. I'm going to figure it out because my health is priority. Yeah. We need to get a sleep person here, because that is a very underrated thing about how to sleep and getting good sleep.
Yes, that's coming up for us in the summer. So we have like a whole talk on sleep. So we're going to get there.
Good.
Yeah, we are going to get there. Serena, I think we need a boyfriend cancellation.
No, we don't do that here. No. Okay. Minion Cam says hydrate, spark water, steel, smart water bottle will track your water intake.
Okay.
And Serena says, I'm a huge fan of kale and spinach.
Awesome. Heart healthy.
That's how we ended off today. So, any final words before we let you go?
I just want to encourage people. We've talked about a lot of things, increasing your water, exercise, changing your diet, making sure you have the calcium. But if there's anybody listening today that has high cholesterol or high blood pressure and they're on medication, I really want you to rethink that. I'm not telling you to get off your medication, but talk to somebody like myself or do some changes, because To live on these medications is dangerous. They're just masking the issue that you could probably fix. So heart disease being the #2 killer in all of the world, really, but especially in America, and the amount of medications that the world takes, it's unnecessary and it's fixable. So genetics only has less than a 10% role to play. And there's something called epigenetics where you could change your genetics. So don't give in to the lies that, my whole family, high blood pressure runs in it, or I'm, of Caribbean descent, so that's why I have high blood pressure. No, it's not. It's probably because you're not drinking enough, eating right, exercising enough, or super stressed out. So, don't suffer alone and make small changes, even if that's just changing your water. And then tomorrow you're going to try to work on exercise, but do something, don't do nothing, and don't resolve to the fact that I just have heart disease. No, you're fixable.
All right. So on the screen there, and I think in the comments section on most of the platforms, at least my platforms, there's how you get a hold of it. Energy Shack Juice Bar. Website, Energy Shack Juice Bar. Email, info@EnergyShackJuiceBar.com. Instagram, The Energy Shack Juice Bar. Facebook, Energy Shack Juice Bar. Phone number, 647-637-6755 globally. Also, if you want to have any consultation, there is EnergyShackJuiceBar.com/consultations. If you have any questions, and I think some of you should, after this, about physical health for Carolyn, email her at info@EnergyShackJuiceBar.com and say you saw her in the morning vibe. And I think we have it all covered. Thank you for being on today. I'm going to be calling you after today's conversation. We need to have a chat.
Sounds good. Happy to talk.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day.
You share. You don't talk. You're a share. You're a share.
Yeah.
To always to you, your family, and the team, and all the people you serve. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you are not making money, make history. And I know this last one you like, make it better.
Make it better every day. Every day, as a good friend of mine would say, just 1% better. You'll get to 100% before you know it.
Well, like I said, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is too hard.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye. All right. There we go. Carolyn is left the building, the digital building. So another great conversation today with a great Carolyn Nichol. I love it when she comes on. She has so much energy and she's coming from a right place. All right, let's do some final things. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, because we want to get to 1,670. Can we do that by Friday, please and thank you? Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm on, email me dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. What else we're going to talk about today? Let's talk about how you can get a hold of Ryan. So if you want to get a hold of Ryan, RyanO'NeillKnight.com, and that's KNIGHT. LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram, it's at Ryan.Knight99. Email, work with me, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Then website, for me, if you want to get a hold of me, website, thedrvibeshow.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Then Instagram at thedrvibeshow. As on X, when I'm there, which is rare, at drvibeshow. Email address dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. And I'm also on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. You can catch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. That's a wrap. All right. So as we close out, this is what we do. Oh, there may be a few more quick comments. Yeah, okay. Quick comments. Mignon Cam says you're supposed to sleep on your back, and your partner probably needs sleep apnea or see a doctor about the snoring. She also says, Minnie, I cannot sleep on my back, dear, but thank you for your concern. And Mignon Cam says you probably need a CPAP machine. Snoring is a symptom of sleep apnea. She also says then separate beds, maybe. I'm not into that. So I ain't going any further. Serena Wills goes, Carolyn Nichol, happy. And she also says, PSA, meet with Carolyn Nichol ASAP. It will help you tremendously. 100%. That's what I'm doing after this conversation. There is some challenges that I want to get addressed by Carolyn, so that's why I'm going to her directly. All right. This is how we close out. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. And then finally, make it better. God bless. Peace to you all. Keep the faith and walk good. We'll see you soon.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.